Paige here from Being in Sync 366 video series. Today I'm talking about a very important topic that most people don't want to learn about, but I'm going to bring it up anyways because it is a part of being in sync, and it is something that is influencing so many people in negative ways, in ways that they don't really understand is impacting them. And this is the abuse of spiritual power. So I talked a lot about this in my manipulation video. This is on a series that I posted maybe 3 or 4 years ago. You can find it somewhere in the files. However, what is really important about spiritual abuse is that it happens through our lack of knowing, our lack of awareness, and our lack of understanding, and also through our conditioning. So we've been conditioned to be afraid of certain things. Let's say like black magic. You know, how familiar are you with what black magic is, how it shows up, what happens? And most people don't have a conscious awareness of what black magic is. And so that is how black magic can be spiritually abusive to you, is because you're not consciously aware of it. And so because you're not aware, you have a vulnerability to believing lies and deceit, because it shows up as pretty and, you know, it looks a particular way. And so that's what's called an imposter. So black magic, lunar forces, and dark mother are things that you can Google and look at and learn about, not from a place of fear, but from a place of like willingness to be aware, so you can't be manipulated. Because what happens with spiritual abuse is it will always come to you through what's called imposter energy, something that shows up one way. Blonde hair, blue eyes, pretty teeth, a nice smile. Maybe they even have their breasts done. And these imposters look really alluring. In fact, they're seductive, and they start to take on these archetypes and these seducer type archetypes that are manipulative. And you don't really know because you're going with what you're seeing, you see. And these energies don't work on the physical as much as they work on the undercurrents of the energy. So if you look at some of the most powerful people, we're starting to see a lot of our stuff with like P. Diddy, you know, how he presents himself versus how he is on the undercurrent. How John of God in Brazil, how he presented himself as a healer and one of God, and meanwhile he was doing all these abuses. Another is these child traffickers. You know, they present one way and they doing something else completely in the background. So you must be aware of these energies so you don't get deceived as easily by them, because the energy is so seductive that you will believe what you see instead of what you feel, because your gut instinct will tell you, like, I kind of knew that guy was shady, or oh, I kind of knew this girl was not very nice, but she presents so nice. She's so sweet, and she makes these nice things, and she offers us these things, but really not very nice at all. And that's how people who are healers kind of seduce their clients. So they won't be transparent. They'll say one thing and while they're doing another. So my suggestion is to become more aware. You know, don't get stuck in the fear-based decision making, which I don't want to know this because it scares me mentality. You want to know so you can't be manipulated. So you want to look up what black magic is, how it shows up, What do the structures look like? What do people who are playing in black magic, what do they look like? So you can basically, in your own mind's eye, deconstruct the illusion that you've been given that it looks a particular way. Because let me tell you, it doesn't show up how you think at all, ever. So you got to really deconstruct the conditioning that you've gotten mentally. So you want to look up lunar forces. How many people do you know that follow the moon cycles? There's a lot of stuff that goes on with the moon energy. There's a lot of undercurrents and magnetic forces. How familiar are? Do you think it's good because people say it's good? Just because the masses are following these structures, does that mean it's what you should do? You need to educate yourself and find out what are the lunar forces? What is the dark mother? What is black energy? Like, know these things so you cannot be deceived by them. You don't need to be afraid when you have awareness. It's the lack of awareness that causes all of the problems that we're seeing today. So many people just have no clue about what is happening. The cluelessness, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is manipulation. Ignorance is pain, and it is a descending cycle. So you got to look at even the things that we've been told that were true. Ignorance is bliss is a lie. Ignorance is not bliss. It's a big FU to consciousness. So you'll want to look at those things. I know it's not easy, but you'll want to, what are some of the other sayings that you absolutely know you've heard, and when you stopped and think about it, maybe that's not really true, and maybe that's not even good to think that. Maybe that is an illusion or something that keeps me in a state of denial, really, because ignorance is not bliss. Is absolutely, and money is not the root of all evil. That's another one that people have been told that they believe. So you want to challenge some of these words and sayings that you've been told, but more importantly, you want to become aware of how they lead you away from your inner truth. And yeah, the more that you can build inner strength, the less that you can be manipulated. So I am Kiana Sage, here bringing you this very uncomfortable yet very necessary topic, and I hope you have a great Friday. I'm Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. Cheers.